Okay, so I don't normally make videos like this on my channel because that's not what my channel is supposed to be about. I'm not like a news channel or like a trauma discussion channel or anything like that. My channel is pretty much just to entertain you guys. But today is somewhat different for a very interesting reason. So, if you're like me, who has the unfortunate circumstance of being a Sonic fan on Twitter, then you probably know that there's drama happening on this site. There's always Sonic related drama happening on the site, like every week about something petty, something unimportant, or something like that. But this drama that started yesterday is pretty different, and I think this one actually has kind of an effect on my perception of things as a Sonic fan. So I thought I would quickly talk about it. So first up, for those who don't know who Mike Pollock is, he is he's the voice actor of Dr. Eggman in the Sonic games, and he has been for over 20 years now. So yeah, he's been, you know, a loved voice actor in the series for such a long time. I think because of how long he's been part of this iconic role. But I think that perception of him may have gone entirely down the drain after yesterday. Well, it should be yesterday at the time of recording this. So it all started with this tweet that Mike made on Twitter. It says, "A moving tribute to the Israeli hostages by my pal Heishi Wallfish. Until we can peacefully coexist, music is the universal language. Trigger warning, violence, blood, and then hashtag bring them home with the the flag of Israel and a Jewish star." So this kind of came out of nowhere, considering the fact that Mike had been somewhat inactive on Twitter these past few weeks, and kind of out of nowhere, this was just something that he tweeted out of the blue. And then at first, people were thinking that Mike actually got hacked because getting hacked on Twitter isn't exactly, it's not new. There's many people, popular or unpopular, that get their Twitter accounts hacked and make them say the most random stuff that they probably wouldn't say otherwise. And I feel like another reason people believed that was because of how Mike was responding to all these comments on this post. He was kind of just, Mike's no stranger to responding to fans' comments. He does so like all the time. But the way he was doing it for this was rather weird. So like, for example, this one says like, Mike, I'll be direct when I say this troubles me. Living humans are always important, but to show support for Israeli hostages while not acknowledging Israel's history of genocide and violence is something that is both naive and complicit. And then he kind of just responds with, "No one even asked." Like, what? And then, yeah, and then apart from that, other people thought he got hacked because of how there was two particular replies that he would make depending on what people were saying. If you were trying to say something like, what is it, free Palestine, or like Palestine will be free or something like that, and then he'd reply with, he would just say like, Jews love free. Yeah, he says that multiple times, as you can see here. The other thing he would say is, what is it? If people ask like, "Did you get hacked?" He would just say like, I got circumcised, and he says that. Well, he says that a lot. Uh, yeah, this is just Sonic fans, expressing disappointment. Yeah, people were kind of just coping. Yeah, there's other like responses saying like, "Oh, did you get hacked?" To which he would just say like, "I got circumcised," or "Yeah, circumcised," or something like that. I don't know why he says that. It's probably something in Judaism. Who knows? And he does so for like some of these quote retweets as well. If I can, most of these are just they're either yeah, nowadays most of these quote retweets are just gonna be either memes or art of Eggman supporting Palestine. And others are obviously. I've come to make an announcement. Mike Pollock is the. Yeah, okay. You know what, Mike? Your career's already ruined. You might as well just end off on a bang by doing the Eggman announcement meme. This all but confirms he was hacked. Yeah, no, so people were kind of just coping, thinking that Eggman was just hacked. And, I had a half and half sort of stance on that belief because, on one hand, this did seem out of like character for the way Mike was doing this. Because I've been following him for a long time on Twitter, so I kind of got the idea of what kind of things he says, does, and like how he does things on Twitter. But on the other hand, I was like, this could be real because I do know that Mike is Jewish, so there was like I think he's mentioned that on Twitter before, so like he you know he could be legit about this. So I was kind of just letting this day go by, seeing if anything happened with it. And then I stumbled across this a post by this user, Ems. Apparently, they tried to reach out to Mike on Instagram to see whether or not he was really hacked. And unless Mike was hacked on both Instagram and Twitter, this is what he responded. He just said, not hacked, just Jewish, which definitely started to concern a lot of people because if if this is real, then these are some rather concerning thoughts that he has. Because, politics. I I don't want to like get too much into detail about politics, especially when, again, that's not what my channel is about. So, but then, interestingly, there's this thread that starts going on in the reply to this. This person says he's definitely hacked. I think we're good. So I think someone tried to trick the quote unquote hacker on by his Instagram DMs. They said, "Hey Mike, big fan. Just wondering, what was your favorite part about being the narrator in Pokemon X and Y? It's one of my favorite performances by you." And then Mike responds saying, "Thanks. I love that they kept inviting me back." And then they respond back saying, "You're effing stupid. Oh my god, Mike never narrated X and Y." So I think this was just kind of like, copium to believe that Mike was still hacked because perhaps the real Mike would actually know, like, oh, he wasn't in X and Y or something like that. Then it goes on even more. M's replies again saying, "Hacked or not, it still does not change the things he has said in the past. People can't ignore this." So they included a bunch of screenshots of some rather interesting responses Mike made in the past. This is from 2021. So obviously way before the whole, war going on right now, but this I don't know the context of this one, but he responds to whatever this tweet was saying, "I'm apolitical, I can't help you with that. I don't deal in Zionism." And then another response, say some Jews care a lot regardless of where they live. It's a whole thing. Then he links to a Wikipedia page about Zionism. Also, apologies if I sound, weak. I just woke up, so I was up until like 12 a.m., 12:30 a.m. ish last night, because I was studying for finals. Uh, this was an interesting one that I saw. Um, I believe the original context was the Sonic Prime cast was announced, and obviously that would mean like Brian Drummond was announced as Eggman to voice Eggman in that show. And I think Mike was saying like, "Welcome to like the Eggman family with like me and Gary Chalk and Jim Cummings and all those people." And then this guy responds him saying, "You forgot one important person who voiced Eggman, the late Dean Bristow, which for those who don't know was the voice of Eggman during the Adventure days, like Adventure One, Adventure Two, Heroes, who died in 2005." And Mike's response to this is, maybe if he would have been on time, maybe if he had been on time, he would have been included. Oh wait, okay. First of all, that's not only disrespectful, that's absolutely freaking wild, man. Um, wow. Yeah, no, I don't feel like giving words on this. And then this apparently was from a day ago at the time that this person screenshotted it, but at It's a Mike, to remain silent about the massacre in Gaza is to be complicit in the crime. And then Mike just responds with shalom. Well, it's not silent, but it's also the wrong type of not being silent. I forgot if this thread had anything else in regards to that. Yeah, these are all mostly just copium. It's either people being confused or just, copium that he was just being hacked. But the last thing I'll show before I get to the big part of this is the I don't know if I want to actually. I don't care if Mike is hacked or not. He has not posted clarification if he even is online. He has shown some serious Zionism before, like back in 2021 during the bombings and just recently. Okay, I don't know if I want to open this image or not. I think you can just tell just from the preview, but it's an image of Mike in like, I can't tell if it's a Discord call or just some other, just a FaceTime like thing. I think it's Discord though. But as you can tell, he's uh not wearing a shirt for some reason. I don't know what that first of all, I don't know what that has to do with the this I don't know what the not wearing shirt thing has to do with this. Don't ask me why the VC looks like that. I'm equally perplexed. Man. Yeah, you can probably find all these tweets on your own if you want to see them in full for some reason. But now I'll just get to the main thing that I wanted to cover in this. You also have, oh yeah, after this whole thing, uh Mike just started liking a bunch of tweets that kind of further damage these reputations. Oh, oh well. I think he unliked the tweet, but at one point he had liked a tweet, like some kind of like bigoted tweet or something like that. I wonder if I can actually. I know one of the people I follow on Twitter. What is it? Uh, like I think they screenshotted it. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay. And you know what the sad thing? Oh, yo, here it is. Like, how do you justify liking a tweet from someone who says this? Um, So this was apparently in Mike's likes for a second. I guess it's not anymore, but here's what I see. It looks like someone who is Jewish wants people who are hostages to be released. And the comments on the song, related to the situation, a bunch of brain dead they zoomers. Yeah, somehow so that makes him like a makes him like a bigot as well, I guess. And yeah, the sad thing is, I don't think Sega's gonna do anything about it because what happens? Karen Strassman, who is Rouge's voice actress, she's arguably had a way worse experience than whatever Mike is doing. Clear proof of her being, anti, I think anti-Israel, anti-BLM, anti-vax, just pretty much every anti that you could think of in the dictionary, and yet somehow Sega's still allowing her to work as Rouge. Yeah, she was Rouge in Sonic Dream Team, and then also the One Tails 2 video, and I think more recently like a Lego commercial, and then she's also in. They also still let her be in Persona 3 Reload. Yeah, so if Sega didn't even like let Rouge or like let Karen Strassman off the if they let Karen Strassman off the hook, I highly doubt they're gonna do anything with Mike. He's probably still gonna keep voicing Eggman, and but now every time he does voice Eggman in something, everyone's just gonna be like, please fire Mike Pollock, and all that. And it makes sense because this is basically actively supporting, genocide, which is, not something you should be doing. And this, on the other hand, is the star of the show. Apparently, he started a space on his Twitter page, and 83,000 people tuned into it, including, I think, all of my mutuals and their mothers were listening in. Or maybe not all my mutuals. I think some of them were some of them were paying attention to the whole Kendrick Lamar versus Drake thing, which I don't care about. But yeah, this is I was in it for like what 30 seconds, but then I immediately well, actually I was in it for like a minute and a half, but yeah, I was in it for like a minute and a half, but the last 60 seconds of it were actually just me trying to figure out how to exit the space because I could not find the exit button. But yeah, so what I thought I would do is I've not gone back and played this recording mostly because I don't care. I think some comments actually kind of, recap this. They cooked here tonight. Okay. So I guess wherever speeding starts speaking, that's some stuff. Little bro's wife had to pull through for him because he was fumbling. Because he was fumbling. Please be AI. Please be AI. Uh that would be wild. I think there were comments that actually were trying to recap whatever he was talking about, but I guess not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let it play so that way you guys can listen to it. I am not going to actually, react to it or talk about it, mostly because I do not care enough about this enough. So, yeah. So I'm gonna turn my mic off while I let this play and actually do something productive with my life. In other words, I'm gonna be studying for my finals, but I'll still, let this play out so that way, if you guys want to, try to listen to this whole thing, I don't think Mike makes any sense in this though. So, fair warning, you might be hearing some nonsense. Again, I have not listened to this thing, so can't say for sure, but I've seen, people afterwards, after he was done saying, like, oh, yeah, no, he's just blatantly, he's being ignorant, he's just blindly defending them or something like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it play out. And um, if I decide that I'm not gonna, say anything after that, I'm just gonna, cut the video off. And if I decide to do that, then I will see you guys in a future video. And I hope you guys have a good day. So I'm gonna let this play while I actually go do something, while I actually be productive and study for my finals, my college finals. So yeah, I'll just turn my mic off now.
Was sent by a friend of mine, a Jewish broadcaster. We'll go at about three after. Hang on. I'll start with a bit of an opening statement, if I may. Didn't make any real notes, so we'll see how this works from top of mind. I'll start by saying, quoting the last words of Daniel Pearl, another famous Jewish hostage of recent memory. I'm Mike Pollock. My father is Jewish. My mother is Jewish. I am Jewish. In case that wasn't common knowledge, it should be by now. And there was some discussion earlier today if I was hacked because I uncharacteristically, apparently, decided to share a video that I was sent by a friend of mine, a Jewish broadcaster, and his business partner. They both are famous for Jewish themed song parodies. I've been a fan of his. I've promoted, I have been the administrator of his podcast for a while, and we still keep in touch, even though the podcast and his show are over. But when he has a parody, song parody of some kind worth sharing, he'll share it with me and requested that I share it with others. And because this was a particularly hot button issue, today's, which was a parody of the song Empty Chairs and Empty Tables from Les Miserables, the Broadway musical and West End musical, I heard it. I appreciated the sentiment. I appreciated the parody as a parody. Having written tons of parodies myself, that used to be my job in a previous life. Um, the accompanying video imagery, a little thought provoking to say the least, but I was not prepared to separate the audio from the video. It was one complete package, and I shared it as it was, along with my sentiments that I would also like to see the folks currently being held, the Israelis being held as hostages in the current war between Palestine and Hamas, and have those hostages returned safely, which I thought was a fairly noble and honorable request. That caused a lot of people to think I was hacked because I've never expressed such strong Jewish opinions before, but I have now because the recent events, the campus protests that we've been seeing, the anti-Semitic assaults on people here in the New York area, especially, have caused me to take a bit more of an interest and figure I should be a little less silent on matters. So I shared the video. People then decided to infer all sorts of political beliefs that I did not express, and so far haven't shared and don't really have because I'm a fairly apolitical guy. But I think y'all know how the internet works. People hear what they want to hear, To quote Simon and Garfunkel, they hear what they want to hear and disregard the rest, and will occasionally make up their own facts. As I love to say, you're entitled to your own opinions, but not your own facts. So that went on for hours and hours, and I was responding individually. And as I realized things have snowballed, it became necessary to take matters into my own hands because I was going to do a video the way I did one for the whole announcement meme thing 3 or 4 years ago. But I decided now we have Twitter Spaces, and it's a little more interactive, so let's go interactively. As I'm self-moderating, I would request there's going to be hatred. I get that. Kind of rein in your hatred. Keep an open mind. I'll keep an open mind. I get what people's thoughts are, but there are going to be some differences of opinion. I'm 59 years old. I grew up in a time when we were able to disagree with people and still remain friends and be cordial. I'd love to see that happen tonight. So, if I'm doing this the right way, I'm seeing people that are requesting to speak. I'm going to approve them in the order in which they've appeared. So, here's first is, am I going to go by usernames? Let's just start with without a name. Hello, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air. Okay, I'll try a username. Is it Tail Human Snass Cracklemeister? Is this even working? Is any of this working? Have I been speaking to nothing? Do I need to reroute my microphone? Hang on, I'm going to reroute my microphone. How's that battery life? Well, not much. Is this not working? Oh, is it working now? Is the caller there? Houston, hello. It's a Larry King reference. No one needs to get it. Shall we add another speaker, see how this works? I don't know how this works. That was a noise. I heard a beep. Is it Freaky Hyper Mako Solo Comic Waiter?
Hi.
Hi.
Do you play Fortnite?
I'm not a gamer, no. That's also not really relevant to the discussion.
Oh,
But thanks for the call.
oh.
Is that all you had?
No. Are you? So you didn't answer the question. Are you hacked?
I am not hacked.
That's crazy, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't play Fortnite?
No, I'm sure, but I am sure that I'll be moving on to our next caller. Thanks for the call.
No, wait.
What?
Wait, please say wait.
Make it snappy. Have you taken any illegal substances this evening?
No, I'm a minor, dude. I'm sorry.
Okay, then how may I help you?
I just wanted to say hi. You have a great day. You can kick me out now.
Hi, thank you so much for calling.
Yep.
Let me make sure I know which one you are, because I can't tell who's speaking. You're Freaky Hyper Mako Solo Comic Waiter? Alrighty. Going like gangbusters, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the call. Tail Human, you still there? Are you there at all? I may have to remove you. Hope I can. All right, next up on our phone lines, it's a whole bunch of binary ones and zeros. Hello, you're on the air. Hi, how can I help you?
So, I guess really, I mean, there's a lot of questions right now.
One would hope.
I guess, well, a lot of people are questioning, but I guess the main question that I have is, are you going to release a statement about the Palestinian hostages?
No, because I'm apolitical that way. I'm a Jew. I'm surrounded by Jews. I have Jewish friends. I have Jewish family. I'm in Jewish Facebook groups. I'm seeing stuff about the Jews, and my Jewish friend sent me this Jewish video. So right now, unfortunately, while the world should be unbiased, I'm biased towards the Jews and the Jews hostages because that's what I see. Obviously, it should go without saying I don't want anyone to be hostages anywhere. I don't want there to be any violence anywhere. I'd love an end to war. I can't make that happen. I'm just some guy talking into the void on Twitter here, or on X, formerly known as Twitter. But I I'm not up on foreign affairs and foreign policy. I'm not an expert on that. My recently deceased cousin was. If he was there, he could have that discussion. I am not informed enough to opine on the situation as a whole, but I can opine on there are hostages that weren't home for Passover, should have been, would have loved to see them be back. The rest of the Palestinian hostages, you exist, you should be free too. But at the moment, I'm sharing the video that I got from my Jewish friend because I'm a Jewish guy.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say you're not speaking into a void. You have a very clear audience. You do have a big audience,
Thank you.
and when you have an audience like that, you just can't. Sorry, I'm exhausted, but you can't just. I mean, there's a lot of Palestinians who like you and support you as well, right?
I get
The
that.
truth is, you can't just pick one side like that, right?
Okay,
You gotta advocate for the hostages. That's what I'm trying to
I'm
find out.
I'm a Jew. Are the Palestinians gonna like me less if they find out I'm a Jew? Hope not. I don't like them less because they're Palestinians. But as we all live in our own little bubbles, I'm in a Jewish bubble most of the time. So I'm more familiar with the plight of the Jewish hostages. I am surrounded by Jews. And I've been a Jew all my life. So if you put we go with the red pill, blue pill analogy, I'm going to go with the pill that is most familiar, more than likely. But as the legal expression of an expressio, I can't do it in Latin, but the expression is the exclusion of the expression of one is the exclusion of another. That doesn't apply here. Just because I'm expressing one, that does not mean de facto that I'm excluding the other. I'm speaking about what I know about. I'm not one to opine about stuff that I have no knowledge about. People ask me questions
Yeah,
about voiceover work. I opine about that because I know about that.
well, I'm not trying to sound like disrespectful or anything, but I think you do have to educate yourself and look at both sides before making an informed opinion. That's just my
I
opinion. And I do have to get going, but I really do appreciate your work and
Thank you.
have a great day.
Thanks for calling. As I said before, I wasn't expressing opinions on the conflict as a whole. I'm expressing opinions on the hostages that I expressed an opinion about. All right, let's go to our next caller. Nice and easy to pronounce. PM. Hello, you're on the air. I guess you're not. Okay, let's go to Noble. No, wait, there's PM. There's not PM. Twitter Spaces, everyone. It's like Discord, but apparently worse. Let's go to Noble. No, let's go to PM. PM, are you there? Third time's the charm.
Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
here's some
Mike Pollock. How
noise.
are you? Hello,
Hello.
hello, Mr. Mike Pollock. How are you
I'm.
doing today?
Don't ask.
Yes, we're doing
Thank
what
you.
we're doing. Well, first, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to pop on and say I admire your work, particularly, and one obvious one that you probably get asked about often. We'll leave it at that. But I actually agree with something you posted on here like a while back, because something in response to, I guess, a similar
Okay.
matter. I think you had said the words, "I'm an actor, not an activist," and that just kind of resonated with me. And I just wanted to say, I kind of appreciate that neutral stance, and I kind of lean more towards that way. So I just wanted to say, thank you for finding the words to phrase that in a way that I can relate
Thank
to.
you.
Thank you.
People have been calling me to task on those similar words that I've said this evening. And I'll clarify, I'm not an activist in general. The occasional issue that hits close to home, I'll speak out about. But for example, SAG-AFTRA went on strike. I could have gone to picket. I don't want to picket. I don't want to march around holding a sign. That's not my scene, Jack, as they would have said in the 50s and 60s. I'm not likely to grab an angry torch and form the angry mob that may be sitting waiting for me here in these callers. But that's just me. But if I have something that I think is a fairly innocuous and humanitarian type statement, like the one that I made today, I'll make that. But then suddenly things get twisted and inferred, and stuff I didn't say gets assumed. But there you go. Welcome to the Twitterverse. All right, PM, thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing more of your voiceover work later
Thank you
on.
so
Have a
much.
great day.
I hope I still get to do some. But okay, for those who say I'm not usually snarky, This is me. I'm usually snarky. I'm doing it now. All right, let's see. Shall I guess is Kiravin? Pronounce your name, if you'd like.
Oh yeah, it's Karevin.
Karevan. I could have guessed that eventually,
Yeah.
but who has the time? Karevan, welcome. How can I help you?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering, kind of not related to you being hacked, but what's your stance on using AI voice filters?
Don't get me started. Voice filters describe that because I have opinions on deepfakes and voice cloning. What do you mean by an AI filter specifically?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm mostly just drawing attention to everyone listening that what you're using now is an AI voice filter.
Okay.
And so that would
How,
replicate someone's voice. You can generally get like a lot of audio from someone like Mike, who has gone out and spoken a lot publicly, and train an AI model to be able to change your voice to sound like someone else's or anyone else's voice in real time.
mm,
So if you happen to hack a Twitter and start talking about something that's a hot topic right now, no matter which side you're on,
mm-hmm. Oh,
then you can just kind of go live and sound like him.
okay.
But
Well, hang on.
it's hilarious how many people are falling for it, for sure.
Okay, here, let me do a quick demonstration. Can an AI filter do this? I'm doing this voice now. And now I'm doing this other voice. And now I'm doing this other voice. Can an AI filter do that? I'm just curious.
It absolutely can,
Okay, great.
especially because we've heard Mike do that exact little routine that you've done, and it sounds significantly
Okay,
better
now
than
I'm
what you
doing
sound like right
different
now.
voice. How is this? Is this different enough? You want to throw me a request? Throw me a request. How can I disprove
There,
this?
no, that's the problem. You can't disprove it
Okay.
other than just using your own ears. And the people who are going to be fooled by it are going to be fooled by just by you talking normally. The people who know are going to know. So the best thing you can do is just bring awareness to the fact that it's you are using an AI voice filter
That's great,
because you have hacked Mike's account.
except I'm not. I'm not a hacker. I'm Mike. Don't know how to prove
You
that
have
to you.
studied up. You've studied up on him
You're a
very well
conspiracy
because
theorist, Kevin.
you. Do, I am. I am very much so.
Okay,
I
you're
am.
demonstrating that right now.
I doubt almost everything,
Okay.
but I will say you definitely have a lot of his mannerisms down, especially in the way that you speak and the way that you write. A lot of those quips are very close to what he says, but not quite the same to people who've been keeping an eye out.
That's hysterical. Okay, well,
Thank you.
since it's impossible to prove a negative, I guess we'll have to realize that at no point will the account change because the account has not changed hands. You'll notice I'm doing the exact same thing on Facebook. I'm responding to emails that people are sending me the same way. I've answered voice calls from people here on Twitter. It's me, but you don't have to believe that, I
You know
guess.
what? And I see what you're saying. A lot of my friends are listening right now and they're telling me, Karevan, abort, abort. It's him, it's him. And you know what? I've been wrong about many things and I might be wrong about this, but if I'm not, then I get to say right now to everyone, I told you so. I told you so.
Okay, I've earlier shared a picture. I think I've shared it publicly, but I may not. I guess I could tweet it too. I shared a picture of me at my computer with a timestamp, completely unshowered and looking crazily hideous, with a timestamp in the corner showing that I'm here. I guess we could also demonstrate that
But
my.
that's something,
Yes, go on.
that's the problem. Someone who is intelligent enough and skilled enough to be able to do what I'm accusing you of doing
Yes.
would easily be able to do that. I could do something like that, and maybe not as fast because I'm not as talented as the people that can do this. It'd take me a minute or two, but someone who's talented enough can easily get an image, fake or not, of Mike doing almost anything that you want, except for something unrealistic. Like send me a picture of you on top of a mountain. If you were real, you couldn't do that, so it doesn't work.
Okay, well, in the age of deep fakes, there's absolutely nothing I could do. I might not be real. I may never have
Yes,
been real. I guess we'll have to live with that.
but I appreciate the troll. You're doing amazing. I absolutely love it. Congratulations. It's great.
Thanks. Let's
Real or not, it's fun.
Thanks. Let's see if I can
But
keep it
you
up.
can go ahead and move.
I'll see if I can keep it up for the rest of my life as I plan to do.
All right, you can move on to the next
Thank you
person.
so much for the call,
Congratulations. Good
Corinne.
job.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
My pleasure. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Never a dull moment in these things. Noble, is that you? You're on the air.
Oh, wait, am I here now?
Yeah, was that wrong? Did you not want to be here?
Oh no, I wanted to be on here.
Okay.
I just, it just my mic kind of messed up.
Assuming you're not a deep fake
First,
of yourself, you're on the air.
nah, I'm not a deep fake. Not at least not yet. But
That makes two of us,
first
as far
thing,
as I know. But you know, go on. How can I help you?
uh, first, before I say anything, I'm a big fan of
Thank you
you.
very
So
much.
let's just kind of get that.
Hope
But
that
kind of
lasts.
wanted to, but kind of wanted to touch base on the not the previous guy, but the guy before, when you said I'm an activist, actor, not
Hmm.
activist. That kind of stuck with me, and I kind of wanted to. I mean, would you kind of figured that kind of speech out because now that's kind of resonating with me because that I kind of get that. What do you call? I kind of I don't say hit close to home, but more like that applies to me a ton.
Sure.
Where people ask me, and I'm just always kind of on a neutral, but I'm always kind of a people's person. Where I kind of want to see people happy, but I'm never a big one side over the other.
Sure. It's often an older child versus younger child thing if you go back into child psychology. But generally, some people have very strong opinions and desire to share them on every possible subject under the sun. Some, like me, tend to be a little more stay in your lane. Other people want to be all over the road and be Wally Weaver. I'm not judging. I'm also famous for not judging. You can do whatever you want, but when it comes to me, I'm not an activist for the sake of being an activist. You know, people love to say, you can't be neutral. Neutral is complicit. Great. I get that. You know why you say that? Because you're an activist. Great. Go ahead, be an activist. Pick up your picket sign, grab your torch, have a field day. You don't have to drag me along. I can sit and watch. I could silently counter protest, but what's the point of that? I could just keep my distance. I choose what I activize about. I'm in a couple of trade groups that I should be more activisty about. There was the SAG after strike happened. I didn't pick it then. Didn't have to. Could have. Didn't. Chose not to. That's okay. I understand that today in the world of the internet, and especially in the world of young folks with big opinions, there's going to be more activism. When I was a kid, there was activism. You know, there was the 60s, even before I was a kid. The 60s happened, but not everyone was expected to be an activist. It wasn't mandatory. So it's okay. You don't have to be. You can be, won't stop you from being, but not everyone has to be.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't
I hope
know. I
so.
just kind of saw.
I'm
I
expressing
just
my
kind of
opinion on
saw.
that, but thank you.
Yeah, just kind of saw the tweets, and I was just like, it's kind of crazy that today happening. But
No,
now I kind of speak and kind of get more of a what do you call
had to,
a perspective.
thank you. Had to figure out how to address it somehow, and this was our choice.
Yeah, I guess it's a better way to kind of
Cool.
get everyone on the air.
Thank you.
But I guess anyway,
All right.
I guess that's just my time. Anyway, big fan again. So thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Noble. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you again.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye. Let's go and get that Griff, VA. See what I did there? Thank you. Griff, you're on the air. Now he disappears. If you've ever hosted your own space, this is so delightfully confusing. Because I guess whatever connectivity issues folks are having, they appear, then they disappear. Going once, going twice. Third time's the charm. 3 strikes, you're out. Come back later if you'd like to. Apparently, we now have LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen. Bronny, how are you?
Hey, what's
How
up?
are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good, huh? I just wanted to let you know I'm a big fan.
Thank you kindly.
I mean, I don't really have a stance on the situation. I'm not that informed on all this, but
That's cool.
yeah, I really didn't even mean to be on here. To be honest, you can just remove me. I did
Okay.
not mean to request.
Okay. Thanks for the call. Come back next space. I don't know what that means. And let's move on to Sonic Eraser. Oh, the irony. Hello, Sonic Eraser. You're on the air. I see you haven't disappeared yet. That's a good thing. I heard a beep. Is it a good beep or a bad beep? There's
Hello.
some noise. Hello, Sonic Racer. How are you?
I got a question
That's why we're
about
here.
um. Do you think that the IDF, like the Israeli government, is to blame for the genocide? And I think, like, honestly, should should there be a peace treaty among Palestine and Israel?
Okay. I don't know who's at fault. It's been going on for so long. And again, don't really have an opinion on that part. But boy, peace would be great. Back in the 70s, 80s, 70s, I think, there was Egypt Israel Accords, which was great. There was a peace treaty there. Yeah, peace treaties would be great among so many enemies, not just, for example, in some popular video games you may have heard of. But sure, the more people that could make peace, the better. People, especially these days, love to fight. They love to hate. They love to hate people they disagree with. God, God forbid you actually disagree with someone and still talk to them and be friendly with them. That can't happen today. Used to happen in my day. But yeah, more people should make peace and negotiate with each other, just in general and all of life. So yeah, I'm not an expert on these matters. Again, my cousin, who's now deceased, was he an expert on Middle East affairs? He could have some solutions. But again, I'm sure he's been working on solutions when he was alive. Too late now. But I don't know if anyone has a solution. I've yet to see one yet that works, apparently. But boy, that would be a great thing to see.
Okay, that's all I
All
have.
right. Thank you. Best of luck to us all.
Yep.
Thanks for the call. If anyone remembers Larry King, I may lapse into Larry King periodically as I go, Yuri, you're on the air. Hello. Oh, look, I sounded like Eggman just now. Hello, Yuri, are you there? There's a noise.
I'm here to give my official opinion on the stance of the matter.
Great.
Ladies and
Here it
gentlemen,
comes. Place your bets, ladies and
uh,
gentlemen.
all right. I can do the Eggman voice. I can see you're a loving fan. Give me a request.
No, we're trying to keep things relevant. So if you got nothing relevant, I gotta let you go.
This is relevant. I'm Mike Pollock. I'm giving it a. Oh, what is this? I don't. Is this Discord?
Well, if it was, what's Mike Pollock's typical Discord response? Here's a hint. I mentioned it earlier.
Don't hurt me.
Now, the answer would be Discord, everyone.
Uh,
Discord. All right, Yuri, thank you so
I
much.
don't.
Thanks for the call.
I love you, Doctor Eggman.
Thanks. So
Keep being
I'll
cool.
tell him. Thank you. All right. We now have Helix degrees Fahrenheit. I guess that is. Helix, are you there? Let's wait for the sound to happen. That's how this works. Nope, disappeared. 10-second rule. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you tell he used to work in radio? I can. Helix, you're back. We guess we restart the clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, if you want to try again, come on back, Helix. Thank you so much. It appears to be Dub Z up next. Dub Z, are you there? Again, Dub Z disappears.
Hey, no,
Oh,
no,
great,
no,
you're
I'm
back.
here.
Welcome. You're not even showing up now. This is a great service, ain't it? How can
Yeah,
I help you, Dub Z?
how's it going?
Don't ask.
First off, I just want to say, I am a big fan of yours,
Thank you very
Mike.
much.
I've been, hearing your voice in Sonic Colors on the Wii, so it's kind of cathartic to talk to you right
Thank
now.
you.
But I just want to get to the point here.
Cheers.
Man, when I see, when I just got on Twitter today and I see all this, controversy and everything happening with you, it really just came to a shock. And personally, I haven't really looked into the whole Palestine thing that's going on right
Mm-hmm.
now. Not really a huge news guy myself, but what I did want to say is that, you know, you have a massive platform, it reaches out to a lot of thousands of fans, and seeing the responses that you're making just rubbed me the wrong way. I get it, you're expressing your opinion, but from what I've seen, I think the best way to handle controversies like this is to just not respond to so many people, because it kind of made everybody just freak out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you just made the post and left it alone, I feel like maybe it would have gone a little better, and not have this whole eruption. Oh, he was hacking. Well, I mean, people probably still think you were hacked,
Right.
but like, I think the situation could have just been handled better. You are free to. This is a free app. You are free to express every opinion that you want
Understood.
to. But from things I've seen, handling controversy can be done in a much better way than I think that you handled it. But again, can't change the past and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say that it might have scared a lot of people. I know it kind of scared me what was going on.
Now, I'm here to solicit feedback, and I'm not going to shut down all the feedback. But as we've discussed, people can disagree and hopefully still be cordial to one another. I am an entertainer. I find comedy where others won't find comedy. Even if I see the comedy and can't make you see the comedy, I get that. Comedy is very subjective. But I especially, when backed into a corner and have to defend myself, not unlike many Jews I know, I resort to self-deprecating humor. I resort to bad puns. I resort to snappy answers. There was a feature in Mad Magazine years ago, snappy answers to stupid questions. And it was just
Yeah,
all sarcasm. And I default to snark. I default to sarcasm. Unfortunately, seeing it in print is different than hearing me say it in person, because just like with acting, you lose the line delivery, you lose the emotion behind it. So
yeah,
it can definitely be misinterpreted. That's a risk I'm always taking. That's a risk I've taken again here. But when I
yeah,
made the post, the first handful of responses were not surprisingly Free Palestine. And as the Jew that I am, seeing Free Palestine, we Jews tend to read anti-Semitism in many of those, because it's kind of, if it's not one thing, it's another. So folks that
yeah,
say Free Palestine have a tendency to also have some anti-Semitic feelings. So that got me a little worked up. And then with each individual challenge, I chose, wisely or not, to respond in my typical snarky way. I guess I
yeah,
can apologize, but again, it's going to be one of those I'm sorry you feel that way type of apologies. I'm sorry that what I
yeah,
said got misunderstood. Wasn't my intention, but I guess perception is reality. So sure, could I turn off the snark? If I had to, yes. Do I want to?
yeah,
No. Should you ever trust people who ask themselves their own questions? No. But that's a nothing matter for another time. See, just got snarky there. So yes, get that. Can't change the past. Absolutely right. Can try to change the future. What good will it do at this point? Who knows? Hope this Twitter space clears up some stuff. Don't know. So thank you.
yeah.
Appreciate that. I've taken that to heart,
Um,
and in the spirit in which it was intended, and exactly the reason why I was soliciting feedback and taking the feedback I'm getting.
yeah. Also, just one more quick
Sure.
question. If you could do that for me. So I saw a few people, saying like, "Oh, we got to recast Mike Pollock now as
Mm-hmm.
Eggman and everything like that." Do you think that this controversy might have some effects with your relationship with Sega at all?
If Sega has any empathy whatsoever, and I believe they do, they'll look at the
Yeah.
initial tweet and say, "Oh, Mike wants to see the hostages return home safely. That's honorable," and leave it at that. Nowhere does Mike
Okay.
express anything Zionist-y. I didn't blatantly support Israel's actions. I didn't support Palestine's actions. It wasn't about the crux of the conflict. It's about the people minding their own business, and then suddenly they find their hostages in Palestine, and they're missing their family back home. We just had Seder. They would, for Passover. They weren't there. They would have missed Seder. They did. So that's the gist of the song. As I mentioned, the song had visual images. kind of necessary because they were pictures of real events. I didn't make the video,
Yeah.
I didn't choose the images, but the sentiment of the song, which was exclusively bringing them home. I'm surprised they didn't use "Bring Them Home" from Les Mis, but don't let me get all show tuney. But I would like to think, and if Sega decides to speak to me about this, and they may not, they may not have noticed. I don't know, but I will
Yeah.
happily have a frank discussion and explain that it wasn't. It's not political in that way. It's a humanitarian issue of folks who have become collateral damage in a conflict. It would be great if they didn't ask to be hostages. Maybe they should be let go. Same for the Palestinian hostages. Don't know them, haven't seen a video. But again, hostages in any conflict didn't ask to be hostages. Back in the 80s, we had the Iran hostage crisis. They didn't ask to be hostages either. So same thing. Hostages should be released. I think that's a reasonable thing to say about hostages everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Again, I don't know a crazy amount about the situation. I haven't really formed my whole opinion on the matter, so I can't really give any input of like what's right and what's wrong in this situation. But
I
I thought I'd just come on here and say what I wanted to say, have a nice civil conversation with
thank you,
you,
and you
and
did. And I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah, no
And
problem. I know that kid who came in earlier and was like trying to troll you with all that Fortnite stuff,
uh,
man. Stuff's annoying.
I'm
But
again. It's Twitter. I'm not surprised. There's in
yeah,
every
yeah, no, me neither.
there's a proportion in every population, and I dare
Yeah,
say I will fan the flames again by saying even some of the people professing opinions may not have enough information to form the opinions they have, and that's on both sides of
yeah,
the discussion or every side of the discussion. It's not a binary thing. There are lots of opinions and lots of things, and maybe some people, not all the people, but some people probably shouldn't be so firm in their opinions. But Dubsy, thank you so much. I appreciate your input.
yeah, of course. All right, you have a good one. Hopefully, one day I'll come to a meet and greet or something like
Thank
that.
you. I hope they still exist. But
Yeah,
thank you. We'll see what
yeah,
happens. Thank you so much.
yeah. All right, bye
Bye.
bye.
All right, cool. Going well. Trolling aside, we're doing well. Sonic News Guy's here. Oh, good. Someone from the journalistic media and side of things. Sonic News Guy, are you there? Good. I can hear you. I can't see you because, again, you disappeared. No, now you're back. Don't believe everything you see. But how can I help you? Thanks for joining us.
I had a question about your take on the hostages.
Okay.
So, do you think it's partially beneficial, especially when like Israel has more Palestinian hostages, to keep some hostages so you don't get like laid to waste? Do you think there's some strategic benefit in that?
Um, I'm not a military strategist. Slowly trying to figure that out. Um,
But you play one on TV.
you're right. That's all scripted and not by me. Um, I guess from a bargaining perspective, I don't like the idea, but I understand how those in the hawkish side of the world that handle such military affairs, that yes, that would be a bargaining tool. If it were me, I probably wouldn't want humans to be my pawns. No pun intended for any other pawns that may appear in media in which I'm associated. But I guess from their perspective, yes. From my perspective, I wouldn't if I was running a war. Which, boy, I hope I never have to do. This is as
I agree
combative
with
as
you.
I'd like
All
to get.
hostages are bad.
I'm sorry. What?
I was saying I agree with you. All hostages are
Yeah.
bad, but I was just saying in particular, it's easy to say release them, but almost it'd be like giving up the upper hand if they release them. Because then it's like, why don't they just bomb all of Palestine? Like, what leverage is there?
Yeah, but notice in at least when I was saying it, I wasn't saying release the hostages. I said bring them home, which doesn't mean release them. It means at some point they get released and then they come home. So yeah, we're being very semantically oriented here and parsing phrases. But yeah, it's a tough situation all around. But yes, ideally there should be no hostages. But John Lennon called for an end to war in the '60s and '70s. How'd that work out for you?
That's true.
We can talk a good game, but who's listening? Okay, cool.
I mean, all
All right.
right. That was my only
Thank you.
question.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, this guy looks familiar. Full disclosure, I'm working with this guy, so if there's bias, it might be in my direction. Chucky Chicken, are you there?
I'm here. How are you, good sir?
I've been better, but
Well, I just wanted to first and foremost say, I've known you for a long time, and I wasn't sure what the heck was going on
a lot of
today.
that going
But
around.
yeah, so, but the whole thing is really a sticky situation, and but I do just want to commend you for first of all doing this and clearing the air. It takes a really big person, and I'm not calling you
Thank
big
you.
in that
He's
way.
another character.
Um,
But all right, stop with the but It's no longer funny. Thank you.
exactly, but you're 100% right. Sometimes humor is used as a defense
Mhm.
mechanism, and I mean, as a failed comedian, I totally understand
Mhm.
that. But hey, it's just a tough situation. But I just want to commend you, and I agree. The hostages need to come home.
Sure.
So,
Careful, controversial
uh,
opinion there. Thank you. I'm kidding. See, I'm being
yeah,
snarky all the time.
well,
You, you,
we'll just go ahead.
as a chicken, you would know. You stick your neck out, and then there you go. So,
Well, right back at you, Mister Turkey. What can I
thank
tell
you
you?
so much. Exactly. Touche.
Well, anyway, I'm just I just wanted to commend you and just say that I got your back.
Thank you. Appreciate
So
your support. At least one client has already silenced me from a Discord that we're in, but we're recording tomorrow, and I assume they'll be asking questions, and I'll be answering. And these are the answers
there
I'll
you
be giving.
go.
Cool. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
No problem.
See you.
Yes, sir. See you soon.
All right. Moving on to Ari Bunch. There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm not going to try too hard to make one. Ari, are you there? You're on the air. Hang on. Twitter space, being Twitter space. Ari, you've disappeared. We're starting the countdown. 10, 9, 8. I'm putting myself to sleep. 6, 5. I missed the number. 7, 2, 3, 9. Blast off. All right. Tower of Zeal online. Hello, you're on the air. There's a
Hello,
noise. Hello.
hello, hello. Hi, Mr. Mike
Hi.
Pollock. I appreciate you having me here. I loved your work last year doing the Sonic Twitter
Thank,
takeover in
thank you very
December.
much.
It was really great. You and your team did a great thing.
Yep.
Um, I I just what I don't understand is that how come I've since a child I've been listening to or I've seen everything NPR
Mm-hmm.
everything, NBC, Peter
Mm-hmm.
Jennings, everything like that. And I seen Israel versus, especially NPA, Israel versus Palestine for
Mm-hmm.
years. And now it's on social media and I don't understand why people can't just understand that this has been going on for a long while. And then another thing I understand is says, oh, don't meet your heroes. I think that's a little ignorant
Mm-hmm.
because I think that you lose the opportunity to get a perspective from someone's life. And I do commend you. I know this is kind of like a slash question slash compliment, but sir, I do commend you for putting your neck out there and just expressing yourself. And I feel like context and subtlety is lost. I haven't when I read the post, it's like, okay, you gave some positive like from that post, it's like music. I'm paraphrasing here, but you said music is generational. You know what I mean?
Music's the universal language, which is a quote from a Mac
Right.
Davis song from the 70s. I'm old, but go on.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to say, sir. I mean, I think you're great, and I do look up to you, and I still love to learn from you. Your work in Sonic Frontiers was great, sir.
Thank you.
But I'm sorry, I'm going to stop speaking
Thank
now
you.
and let you speak.
I can. The conflict, such as it is, has been going on, some would say, for thousands of years, going back to biblical times. It came to a head when Israel became a state, 1948. Many people were not happy with that. Others were happy with that. But the conflict continued. And then at some point, wars break out every now and again. And this is the first war that happened in the time of social media in that region. And that has obviously gotten lots of people engaged on both sides, or more than both sides of the conflict. And that, especially in this combative age of social media, that leads to a lot of hate, and that sometimes spills offline as well, which is not great. Um, as for people misconstruing ideas, that's what people do. They're hardwired to bend the truth to fit their worldview, um, read stuff into words that they read ideas into words that aren't there. One of the things I love to point out is the distinction between implying and inferring. Implying is when you say something and give it a hidden meaning. Inferring is when you hear something and give it a hidden meaning. I didn't imply anything, but many people are inferring based on my hope for hostages being released safely, that I must support one side and all the actions of one side. And I haven't said that. There's so much going on that not only can I not form a great opinion, but I can't think of a solution that would make everyone happy to that conflict. I don't know that anyone can. So I'm going to let the conflict play itself out. Yeah, I'm a Jew. I mean, there's always the needle's always going to point a little more towards the Israeli side because it's the ancestral homeland of the religion. So sorry, that's just part of the package. But um, I, I'm I don't have a great solution to this problem. If I did, I'd be there doing something about it. I don't know that anyone has a great solution to it, and the people that want to impose their beliefs and impose an opinion on someone, I take the quote from, I believe it was House Speaker Tip O'Neill, who said, "You're entitled to your own opinions, but not your own facts." So don't put words into my mouth when the words aren't even in my head. So yeah, it's the nature of the internet. It's an occupational hazard of being on the internet, but I get it and I deal with it in my own, I hope, lovingly snarky way. But I also get that not everyone likes a smartass. Most people hate smartasses. Sorry, I'm a smartass. That's what makes me laugh. Doesn't have to make you laugh. But there you go. I hope that made sense.
Thank you, sir. I'm humbled and I love and appreciate you, Mr. Mike
Thank
Pollock.
you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you checking in.
You're welcome, sir.
And Solid JJ is here. Solid. That's the old expression that we used in the 60s when I wasn't really alive to say cool. So Solid JJ, welcome.
Hey, Mike. How we doing?
Well, it's been a day.
You're having a day, it
Uh-huh.
seems. First, I mean, you don't even know if you're real.
No,
You might not even be you.
I'll check my pulse later, but I can't trust that either. So yeah, if we take it as given for the sake of argument that I'm real, it's great to have you here in our space.
Thank you. There's always a good way to check it. If you just like, normally the government hands out like cards with your name on it and birthday. If you
Mm-hmm.
just tweet that, we should know for sure.
Well, I'd have to black out my address and stuff, but yeah,
That's part of the fun.
I guess I can do that. Maybe I'll do that a little bit later. Here's a simple test. I'm pinching myself. Ow! It hurts. Okay, what does that prove? I don't know. But how can I help you?
I'll be honest. I'm like one of the 300 people that didn't expect to get called on, but I guess that I'm here. It was interesting to see that you were. I think the thing was that you were responding so often, like someone else said before, that people just weren't expecting it.
That's what I always do. I'm always responding to people. Some people hate that. I get that. But I respond to almost everyone. I mean, now when there's thousands of hate messages coming, it's a little hard to reply to everyone. I do plan to sleep tonight, and I've got stuff to do over the weekend. But yeah, when physically and mentally possible, I respond to people. And here I responded before it got even repetitive for me. So that's why I figured let's try something a little more interactive.
Well, I didn't send out the whole recon team, so I don't know this full story. But from what it sounds like, you just shared a video that someone sent you.
I shared, yeah. I to recap, shared a video of a Jewish musician. He makes song parodies. He's a team. I'll name drop them. They're in the video. Country Yossi and Heshi Wallfish. They've got a whole series of albums under the Country Yossi label. They make song parodies, usually about educational topics or just funny topics. Sometimes a little controversial. Sometimes positive messaging for Jews everywhere. This, not surprisingly, they've seen the hostage situation. It moved Heshi to take a song, make a parody. He chose Empty Chairs at Empty Tables from Les Mis. It's about people dying in a war. He rewrote it. He made a song. I guess at some point they decided to
I
make a
didn't.
video. I'm sorry?
I haven't seen the video. Is it like? Because you're saying it's a parody artist. He didn't. Was the song making light of it, or?
He wrote he took the song. The song itself is a beautiful song from Les Mis, and it's fairly sad and tragic. But it's about all my friends are dead and gone. And all the he's in a pub, and all the chairs and tables. Hi, I'm drunk. All the chairs and tables are empty because his friends are dead and gone. That lends itself to the Seder table, which is how we celebrate Passover. We all get together, have a ritual meal. Not so much after COVID, but that's another matter. And at those Seder tables, a lot of people were leaving an empty chair in memory of they're not all dead, in honor of the hostages who couldn't be with their own families. So at some point, Heshi made the connection, as I would have done as a song parodist, saying, wow, that song could work for the modern day hostage situation. So he took the song, rewrote the lyrics, sang it to a music track. I think he made it himself. I don't know. That's not really relevant. Added some appropriate imagery, although somewhat controversial and gory because it's a gory war situation, and then sent it around. And he knew that I've got a fairly large audience because of the work we've done before. And I said, sure, I'm all for getting the hostages home. Here's a heartfelt way to make that message known. And I shared it, realizing there would be controversy. I don't know that I expected this level of controversy, but I also don't know what I expected. In the back of my mind, I said, well, this will be interesting, and possibly a little bit of this may not go well, but I was willing to take the risk because it's a fairly serious issue and one that I should probably have addressed a little earlier. But the situation has been so weird with the entire conflict since October 7th. And it's like, I don't know, I get involved. It's touchy because it's all the Free Palestine people, and I don't want to deal with that. But then on campus, the protests and Jews being attacked just for being Jews, I said, maybe we should make people more aware. And I've had my own little anti-Semitic episodes with people privately thinking I'm lying about being a Jew and making Jew references. No, don't do that. We Jews don't take kind of that. So that it's a natural progression of the struggle of Jews, especially right after Passover. Passover celebrates the escape of the slaves from Egypt. And so this is another form of persecution, of which that's all we do. It's Jews and persecution goes hand in hand. But that's that in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't see the reason to have. I mean, I'm. I really don't want to be I don't want to talk to you heavily on this. I have some people here that might not want to hear that. But I don't know. I don't see that you're doing anything too evil. You don't have any kids locked up in your basement. That might not have been the best joke to make, but
thank you. But yeah, as far as I know, I'd have to check. But no, I do not. Yeah,
last time you were down there, yeah.
Yeah, but as the internet says, haters gonna hate. If there's something that can trigger a little hatred, hey, I can latch onto that. So there you go.
Hey, yeah, you know what? When it comes to your opinion on the Israel-Palestine, haters gonna hate. That's true, Mike.
And there's no hater like an internet hater.
No.
Solid, JJ. Thank you so much. I appreciate your input. Really do.
Yeah, have a good one.
Cool. Thank you too. Sad Bulldog, you're up next as soon as I tap this button. Hello, you're on the air. Sad Bulldog, waiting for some sound from you. Now you disappeared, but you're here. I hear you.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Oh, so much is up.
So I've been following you for a long time, and actually, we're mutuals. Fun fact: I remember a long time ago, my account actually got hacked a while back as well, and then I made this new one here that I have right now, and we're mutuals. We're buddies.
Cool. Welcome. I hope we don't live to regret that, but let's find out.
All right. Just got one question because
Please.
I don't really know what's going on. You're entitled to your own opinions, yada yada. I'm just curious about the whole circumcision thing, man. I don't know what's up with that.
Excellent question. It used to be common knowledge, which is why I mentioned it, but now I guess it's not so common knowledge. Part of the thing about being a Jew, for males specifically, is ritual circumcision. It's you do it on the 8th day that a baby is born. The guy comes, the moil he's called. He has a special tool. I'm in Wikipedia to see if they summarize it any better than I can. But basically, they snip off the foreskin, and all male Jews, at least following the tradition, are ritually circumcised. So that used to be a common joke that you can make. If someone's Jewish, you assume they're circumcised. You make circumcision jokes. The
Oh,
reason
I
why
understand that. I understand that.
Cool. So the reason why I responded with that, I often make, if you've seen me on Twitter, I make parallel construction jokes. So in this case, what seemed in my head to be a natural response to he's been hacked, okay, something has been done to him. I respond to no, thinking we're talking about being Jewish now. What's been done to me as a Jew is I've been circumcised. So
Okay.
he's been hacked. No, he's been circumcised because he's
Okay.
a Jew.
So I
So
think
that's that.
what's okay, thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
think what's confusing a lot of people and kind of like shocking the internet right now is
Mm-hmm.
how abrupt all of this is. It's a lot. It's a lot of info dump that you're pouring on people, you know?
I know.
It was all a lot all at once, and you're trending and everyone's like, "Oh, it's over. Sega's going to get you." You're taking a lot of risks, man. A lot of risks.
Okay, it's not the first time I've done an info dump. And secondly, the risk is relative. I understand that the internet wants to play cancel games, great. But in the world of business where people are a little more, dare I say, cool headed and rational, they will, I would like to think, look at the source tweet and say, oh, this is what started it? That's not a big deal, is it? Here, that's an honorable opinion to have and an honorable thought to express. I'm actually not opining on the intricacies of the conflict the way so many people who love to opine on these things do. I deliberately avoided that intentionally to not spark that type of controversy. The video itself, which I did not create, I just shared, shows the graphic imagery, which is why I put a trigger warning on it, which, again, people pointed out, that's not typical, that can't be Mike. Your detective work, ladies and gentlemen, not so great. But I did it in a way to make sure that I'm I'm requesting the general public desire among my fellow Jews to have our fellow Jewish hostages be to have them come home safely, and
I
then nothing
understand.
more. I'm
I
not adding
understand.
to that. So the internet inferring and adding and conflating and blowing up, that's what it does. Not surprised by that. Shouldn't have been surprised by that. But that, if it comes to any of my clients questioning me, I'm going to say, can we chat about this for a minute? And I'll explain. Here's the original tweet. Here are some of my replies. It's just me being snarky, me getting defensive, responding with comedy, self-deprecating humor as I do. And that's that. And that's me. And they know me well enough, I would hope, to know, oh yeah, it is you. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, I'm not really sure what's going on in the situation. I don't even know if you're not, whatever. People have probably already debunked that by now. You probably already debunked that. All whatever. So that's kind of all I wanted to ask was what's with the circumcision and maybe a rock fell on your head or something. But I hope you have a good night, man. And it was a good talk. And
Thank you.
I hope you can stay mutual buddies.
But so far, so good. I'm here to debunk. I'm good at that, and that's why we're here. So
All right.
every
You
little
have a
bit
good
helps.
night now.
Thank you so much. Good night.
You have a good night.
Looking at the line of people and wondering how long this will drag on, but let's keep it moving. Scully was just there. We're now up to, hang on, he disappeared. Hang on if you can hear me. I don't know how this works from the other end. Scully, there you go. Is it you? Now you're gone. Don't make me count down now. 10, 9,
Hello?
another. Hello? Hello!
Hello?
Great, you're
Hello.
there. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I would just like to say a few things that I'm on here. I
That's
wasn't
why we're
actually
here.
expecting to be on quick, just listening in.
Thank you.
I just I find it very disappointing to hear all this from you. Just
How so?
mainly just wanted to say that first. Mainly because you know, you are certainly allowed to share your opinions, but personally, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to about this matter, because I just woke up and read this, disagree very heavily. And I would just like you to sort of, you know, just explain a bit more. I'm just a bit curious on that before I fully ask you some more questions.
Sure, you're dropping out, but I'll try and make sense of what you said. You're disappointed that I've expressed an opinion you disagree with. Is that the gist of
Yes.
your question? Okay.
Yeah.
I will counter that by saying people are allowed to disagree with people. You don't have to agree with everyone. You're not supposed to agree with everyone. People are allowed to disagree. And in America, I'm guessing you may not be from America, but in America, there is a right of free speech, at least as the government is concerned. The government
Yeah.
has to allow hate speech. So if you allow speech from people you agree with, you also have to allow speech from people you disagree with, no matter how vile that might be. I believe the opinion I expressed is not particularly vile. The opinion I expressed, and just to clear up any confusion, I want the Jewish hostages to return home safely. I don't think that's controversial. I guess I can widen that to say I want all hostages to be released home to return home safely wherever in the world they're being kept hostage, and there are several hostages happening around the world. But in this case, I was referring to a specific video that a Jewish friend of mine shared with me, a fellow Jew, of a song parody he wrote about wishing the return of the hostages, the Israeli hostages specifically. So that's why I referenced when sharing that video on a hot button issue in my specific bubble of influence as a Jew. That's the opinion I shared. And I don't think it's controversial to want hostages who are hostages in a war against their better choice. They didn't choose to be hostages. So wanting them to return home safely doesn't seem to be that outrageous of an issue. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think so.
Yes, not necessarily is that an issue for wanting hostages to come home. Of course, we all want people to be safe and happy and
Right.
at peace. But I
Okay.
feel like a lot of people have seems a little bit disrespectful to the Palestinian hostages that are currently being held hostage, which there are quite a lot more of. So I think a lot of people have just seen it like in that way, sort of.
I understand that. But one thing to keep in mind, Jews, just like most tribes of any religion or any ethnic group or any other specific group, tend to side with their own given an option. And in this case, the video was about the Israeli hostages. The Palestinian hostages weren't mentioned. I don't have a song to share with that. I guess I could if one was sent to me. But Jews in the Jewish circles in which I travel and follow on social media and whatever bubble forms just like any other one in their own little bubble, I'm surrounded by Jews, and the Jews tend to want the Israeli hostages to be freed. That's what this song was about. I liked the song. I liked the sentiment. I shared it. As I mentioned, the legal principle of the expression of one is the exclusion of another does not apply here. Just because I expressed the desire for one particular set of hostages to be released, you can't infer that I don't want any other hostages released just because I didn't say it. That's not fair. That's not good logic. That's my counter argument to that.
Alrighty. Also, one more question just before I go.
Sure.
I know you just mentioned this before about the circumcision and everything that you were talking about on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you said that, of course, and the
Mm-hmm.
reasoning behind it. I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like that it just wasn't very it wasn't very appropriate, I feel like.
I'm a
The
snarky guy. I'm always sarcastic. It is typical response that I would give in any situation. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, it's part of the reason why I make sarcastic comments.
Yes, sarcastic
I'm
comments itself are nice. They can be funny, but I just feel like this was in poor taste, in my opinion.
I understand, and again, we're entitled to disagree. This is how I defend myself. I defend myself with
Yes.
sarcasm. Firstly, that's my first line of defense. If anyone would like to continue the situation, I'll explain the sarcastic comment and why I likened it to circumcision, and then we can have a less sarcastic discussion. But in almost all aspects of life, whether I'm dealing with a customer service agent on the phone, I lead with sarcasm. It makes me laugh. It makes some other people laugh too. Not apparently everyone. And again, you can't please everyone.
Of course,
So,
yeah, you can't please
appreciate
everyone
it.
with it, but I believe that there is a line with sarcasm and snarky comments that when you cross that line, it tends to go from funny to unfunny.
I appreciate that. I'm aware of that. I take that risk. That's a risk I take all the time. And the touchier the subject, the touchier the risk. And I took that risk intentionally. I could have
Nah,
not said that. I chose to say that. So,
nah. All right. Well, thank you for having me on here. I don't know how this works, so just remove me. However, it
remember you.
works.
All right.
All right.
No
Bye.
disrespect intended, but thanks for calling.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Colorful potatoes, like the name, I think. How can I help you? Hang on, I'm taking a drink. It's only tea. Twitter Spaces works like a well-oiled machine. Doesn't sound like a well-oiled machine. Okay, we're going to do a countdown in 10, 9, 8. There we
Hello.
go. That's a noise. Hello.
Oh wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting to be on.
That's okay. You
Honest.
requested to speak. I granted your request.
Honestly, everybody kind of answered most of my questions.
Okay.
But I have two statement. One question, one statement.
Okay.
First statement is, I bet you get this a lot, but you sound like Dr. Eggman without trying.
I do get that a lot. I don't happen to agree, only because I know that the effort it takes to create Dr. Eggman's voice is very vocally taxing. But thank you. I will
Mm.
take that in the spirit in which it was intended. I appreciate it.
My only main question was, when you made that post today on Twitter and your other posts, were you
Mm-hmm.
expecting it to go like basically viral and like everybody thinking that you are AI or oh Sega's gonna get you fired? Like, were you expecting all of that backlash?
Not all of it. Some of it, sure, because I know how people can be. Wasn't expecting the AI thing and the hacking bit. I expected the canceling because that is somewhere on everyone's keyboard. There's a cancel button I don't have on mine, but that's what people love to do. Even though I will say, and I'll continue to say, disagreeing with someone, just covering your ears doesn't solve the problem. You're much better off trying to negotiate and have a conversation, and if not come to some agreement, at least understand the people you disagree with. So no, that part, the canceled part, I expected. Um, do I expect it? Again, never trust people who ask themselves their own questions and answer them. But in this case, that's the most efficient way to do this. Um, if it reaches clients, I would hope that my clients will speak to me before they make any decision. But again, if you come back to my original tweet, simply asking that the Israeli hostages return home safely, that's not particularly controversial if it's at all controversial at all. Yes, my snarky responses may be controversial, but that's just me. My bio says dishing out snark and sensibility because I'm a snarky guy. I'm sarcastic. I have a quick wit. I can't control it or sometimes choose not to control it because things make me laugh. Connections form in my head that turn into jokes and I share them. So my clients know me. They know that about me. I don't expect them to have a problem, but if they do have a problem, if they don't talk to me first, I'll talk to them after because one thing I've learned about people, I can't call it overreacting because I've proved elsewhere that people don't overreact. They always react consistently with their experience and belief and intentions. But if they intend to do something drastic without consulting me, I will have my various agents and managers reach out to them and say, you want to talk about this? Because you might be blowing this out of proportion and you may have gotten it wrong. I believe that, and I hope they'll believe that.
Okay. I think my last question, honestly,
Mhm.
is this your first time having to like speak to some of your fans and clearing the air about stuff?
Not at all. I do it all the time publicly on Twitter. I occasionally do it in direct messages. I don't prefer that way. This is the first Twitter live space doing it because it seemed an appropriate It serves two purposes. First of all, it's very interactive, so people can come with their questions. Before, with the whole Twitter meme announcement, say this line, no, don't say this line, that was just a static recording and very one-sided. This way, we get to interact. But also, it's with all that's happened today, I never got to take the shower I wanted to take, so I'm not camera ready. So if I'm doing a video, it's not happening anytime soon. So this kills two proverbial birds with one proverbial Twitter space.
Okay, that's all I really had to say. And every time I'm sorry, I said that's all I really had to say. And every time you speak, I can exactly see why you're Dr. Eggman. So
Thank you.
thank you very
Right.
much.
Thank you so much. And let's move on to Atomic, a nice, easy to pronounce name. Atomic, are you there? I'll give you time because we've established that Twitter Spaces never happens. Oh,
Hello?
there's a noise. I hope that's you. Hello.
I can't hear nothing.
Can't you? How about now? I can hear you.
I cannot hear anything.
You cannot hear me telling you that I can hear you. Hi. All right. Well, we can hear. There's no point in
Hello?
me telling you that we can hear you. We can hear you, but we're going to have to take another call because you can't hear us. No offense. Give you a quick 10 count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I should do a podcast for 3,
Hello?
2. Hello? Anything? Atomic, can you hear me?
I can't hear nothing.
All right. Gotta go. Try again. Here's a familiar looking name, I think. Sebastian, are you there? Can you hear me? Can I hear you? Can anyone hear anything? I'm taking
I
another drink. I'm very raspy. I got work tomorrow. This is going to be a challenge. Hello.
Hello, Mike. It's been quite a while.
So it has. Welcome.
Hey there, Mike.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing as well as can be expected under the circumstances. How can I help you, Sebastian?
Well, there are things I've been seeing on cross Twitter recently. From the looks
Yes.
of things, I've seen from your Twitter post about about this whole thing. And to be honest, I was actually confused for a moment. But I know it's the real you for only one reason.
Yes.
Because you are Eggman yourself, and I've come to know that you're one of the biggest voice actors I've come to support for the past 2 years. And the videos I made for you, like the Pluto anime that I made for you, that is something I worked so hard to do, to just support a lot of people like you, Eggman.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
And whatever's happening right now, I just wanted you to know that the choices that we make and the actions that follow us, they are reflections of who we are. We can never hide from ourselves. That is how life works.
Great. Well, if you're ever unfortunately held hostage, I will hope and pray to the extent that I pray for your release, because I would want nothing more than for you to be released as a hostage, as I've done here.
That actually sounded And actually, that's actually true, actually. To be honest, I've been actually held hostage by the cycle of hatred that my family has gone through for years. But by the time I discovered the truth, I felt released. Like I finally understand everything that's going on in life. And that's what led me to making the right choices on my own, and and I got hacked before, but fortunately, I got my this account here you see back as a way for me to just make sure no one would ever try to do anything like that again. Even Jessica Strauss agrees that whoever tries to do that to me or anybody else, even the voice actors, doesn't know what life truly means.
Well, thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate your support, and I'd love to talk all night, but I got a whole line of people still waiting to talk. So thank you so much for calling.
It's what I do best.
Fantastic. We'll talk to you later.
Hope you do something awesome, Eggman.
Thank you so much. And I guess your name is Red Flag. I got that, right? Thank you so much. Mr. or Mrs. or gender non-specific flag. How can I help you? Okay, here we go. You know how this film goes, everyone. 10, 9, 8, 7. You've just disappeared in the void. 4, 5. I may have missed 4, 3, 2, 1. No signs of life. We're moving on to someone who looks familiar. JT Plays, everyone. JT, welcome. How are you? How can I help you?
Sorry about that. Now I can speak to you.
Thank you.
Well, I think a lot of those who have said that. Sorry, I was trying to think. I'm trying to think here of what I'm trying to say.
That's why we're here.
Right. I agree with what you say that not everybody should agree with everybody and all that stuff, but I do think that it is sad to see people say, well, we should recast Mike now and stuff. Like, look, guys, I understand that there's going to be disagreements and stuff, and I've had my fair share in the past as well, but people shouldn't lose their jobs over disagreements, at least minor ones anyway.
I agree, but in this case, I guess I'm biased here too. But yeah, it's it's a slippery slope. If we get to shun people, where does the shunning stop? You like blue. I hate people who like blue. You're shunned. In the old primitive days, shunning was a regulated thing. It's how villages cast out their members. It's icky. Pick your
Nowadays, it's
disagreements
called the
and
blacklist.
right. And it's a bit much. Do Are people not allowed to have differing opinions? You can only deal with people you agree with? That's not a particularly great sign of maturity. There's empathy. Empathy is a thing that exists, even if I can't quite say it. You understand other people's feelings, and you don't have to agree with them, but you can at least feel that you understand the way they feel. But that may not be a thing anymore. So thank you. Hope we don't get canceled. Trying not to get canceled. Going to explain if anyone tries to cancel why that's not necessary. But the knee-jerk reactions people are having, fascinating.
I just wish that we could talk about politics or serious things more civilly. Like, I get it to the 2.6, to you and the 2.6 people listening in this space, that talking about this stuff is important and it's going to come up because it's important. But there's ways to do it and there's ways to not do it. And I feel like some of us are going way too far and we're not even touching grass, as the kids say these days, or doing something to calm ourselves down to keep from going overboard.
Yeah, there's a tremendous lack of civility these days, and I wish it was as easy as saying, yo, be more civil. It's not. But cool. JT, thank you so much. I appreciate your input. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Mike. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Back at you. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye. Nobody TV is here. I could make silly jokes at people's names. I'm not doing that because we've determined I'm too snarky. So I'm reining some of it in. Nobody, are you there? Looks like you're there.
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
here.
like you're there. Fantastic. We're both here. What's on your
Hey.
mind?
A lot, honestly. These past 6 hours have just been so confusing and just, oh my God, dude. Like, my brain is fried, and I had a lot that I wanted to say, but honestly, this past hour, a lot of people have just been really expressing what's been on my mind.
That's what I've been hoping.
And I see a lot of people here. I mean, obviously, people do view you as Dr. Eggman. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are fans of Sonic here, and they're just like, really confused. I see a lot of familiar faces here, like Matt. Just a lot of people in the Sonic community. They're all discussing, debating. It's just been a huge argument, and I'm not really here to discuss politics too much because I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert. But the least I can do is just respect people's opinions. So Um, all I'm gonna say is that you know, I've known you for like a long time, like, you know, because I've, you know, been a fan of your work for a long time, and I have like never really got this chance to like, you know, talk to people that I've known that I like their work, stuff like that. So this is like the first opportunity I got, but it's kind of crazy that out of like this is how it happens for the first time, which is just like really, really shocking. But um sorry, my brain is just fried everything that's happening. But
That's
at
all
this
right.
point,
Believe me, I know the feeling. Welcome to
but
my surreality.
but honestly, at this point, I don't really think it's AI. I mean, I'm gets against you. I have never seen somebody who's been well known really be this open to their community, because usually sometimes when people tweet something that is controversial, they will just they'll
Remove their
just
account.
they'll just say what they say and they just stay silent, and that's pretty
Hmm.
much it. And then basically everyone in the comments fight. So I never seen anybody like really reach out this far, which I gotta give respect for that because I never seen that before. Even though, like, at the same time, I do feel like this has just been a huge, like, can of worms, and I feel like there's just been a lot of toxicity going on. There's been a lot of people fighting. There's a lot of debating. I'm gonna go on YouTube tomorrow. I'm gonna see every Sonic YouTuber talking about this, and it's just gonna be like a huge just argument, you know? Because yeah, that's the community. You know, we fight all the time, and this is our, you know,
I can
conflict
think
of
of one
friends.
guy in particular, but he'll go nameless for the moment.
But I guess all I can say from this is that I really, um, you know, I really hope in the end that, you know, everything that's going on in this world, you know, bad things happen all the time. The only thing I really hope at the end of the day is that everyone is doing well, like each and every one of you here, everyone, you know, in this entire world. And I just really hope in the end, you know, we can just be more civil and just respect each other more and just have more like, um, obviously more respectful discussions and debates, you know, because opinions will be opinions, you know, even
Sure.
though we're talking something very serious. Um, but all I just got to say is that good luck to you. I wish for the best for you. If there's anything going on in your life, I hope you're doing well. I just thank you for letting me talk, and uh, yeah, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
And if we demonstrated anything in our time together so far, I'm at least um, I had something to say. It's hey, thank you. It's getting late. I'm getting old. I'm willing and open to discussion and explanation. I think I've demonstrated. This is what I want to say, that I'm not truly evil, even not just as characters I play, but we're having a civil discussion. I'm not being mean. People are not being mean. We're being civil. That's great. And my spirits have not been totally dampened. I still have some sense of humor left. So all hope is not lost. Nobody, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. But I have one last question before you cut me
Please.
off.
Sure.
A lot of people have been asking me, so I'm just going to say it. But would you like to believe that Dr. Eggman is circumcised?
Depending on the canon you choose to believe, he's canonically Jewish, but that may not be canon. So
Thank
I
you.
don't
That's all
know.
I need to know. My friends really wanted me to ask that. I had to. I didn't
Thanks.
really want to ask that because this is more serious, but I just had to. I'm so sorry. I was kind of threatened. But
I've never
thank you.
checked. How's that? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Sure. Let's see. I hope I'm taking people in order of appearance, but I can't tell. Twitter doesn't tell me who came in where. Callum Buddy is here. Callum Buddy, sup? See what it did there? Fine. How can I
Hello.
help you? Hello.
Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
Do I fear you? You
Can
sound
you
great.
hear? Okay, good.
It's an old joke. So am I. How can I help you?
um, I've looked over everything that you've been saying regarding this, and it's interesting to me how there's kind of like a nuance. I noticed how you made a comment on, obviously you oppose all violence that's going on, and I'm curious how you feel about being labeled something that you're not, because I've seen
Hate that.
people.
Hate it. It's not fair. Life is not fair, but don't judge people with insufficient evidence. What I've been saying to people, several people online, you're drawing conclusions from insufficient data. That's bad science. That's bad logic. Don't do that. Sorry, was I
Yes.
not clear about that? Thank you. But yeah, that answers that question, I think.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does
Yeah.
because because I've noticed that people have like made like sweeping assumptions about
Mm-hmm.
you and your character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've gathered, just based on what you have said, it's really that you oppose all the violence that's going on in the conflict.
Mm-hmm. And I'd love all the hostages everywhere to be free, but these are the ones that happened to cross my desk this morning or my email this
Yes.
morning.
And so it became relevant to you.
Mm-hmm. And Twitter and the internet being what it is, all hell's broken loose. And okay,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that, and thank you very much for letting me speak, and thank you for your time.
sure.
Genuinely,
Thank
it
you. I
means a
appreciate.
lot.
Thank you. I appreciate your brevity and efficiency as we drag on in our time. But thank you so much.
Take care.
But I'll take a guess. It's Modzi one or Modzi one or Modzel. What's your name? Hello, you're on the air. Going once. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We could save so much time by this not happening. 4, 3, 2, another 1. I guess we're done. All right, Rhonda's up next. Rhonda's up next. Which is it? What's your name? Hello, how are you? You're on the air.
I'm using
Hello, is
my
it
rose
Randa?
toy. I'm using my rose toy.
Thanks for slowing us up, Randa. Monochrome is here. Hello, you're on the air. Monochrome, hello, you're on the air. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. If you tuned into you're a fan of countdowns, you come to the right place. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ben Cohen, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Cohen, how are you? Don't make me start another countdown.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Hang on, I'm drinking. Hello.
Yes. Hello. It's good to see a fellow sarcastic Jew.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the club.
Don't
For those
worry, I've been a
listening,
part of the club
it's
for
really a
19
thing.
years. I don't plan on stopping.
Thank you. It's a thing. It's what we do.
Yes, it is. But I just kind of wanted to kind of give my opinion on the whole situation, not the political side, but more of why it happened.
Okay.
I think the issue is so many people see these issues in black and white and there's no gray area anymore. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing like why we can't have civil conversations anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's people just have these opinions and they can't admit they're wrong at any point. And the mindset has gotten so much to the fact that it is impossible to admit you're wrong. So if you're right, somebody else has to be wrong. That kind of mindset has just been very pervasive in the internet, especially on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was just kind of my take on the whole situation.
As I've said, as my brain is always working on crazy little ideas and connections, it's interesting that only some of our lives can be non-binary. Huh? Huh?
I
Thank you.
know.
Other issues have to be binary. Okay. Can't explain it, can't understand it, but cool. Excellent point. It is a very detailed issue, and that's why I'm not prepared to get involved because it requires a different field of expertise and one that I did not cover in my schooling. But cool. Ben, thank you
Yep.
so much. I appreciate
And
it.
I appreciate you being able to have a civil conversation. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Good night. I'm a lot more civil than people give me credit for sometimes. Hang on. We're going now to Speeding in the Mania. Speeding in the Mania. Hello, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air. It's a 7-second delay joke. We don't even have one here. You're waiting patiently. We're being quiet. We're not giving you a 10-second countdown just yet. Speeding in the Mania. Can you make some sound? Blink
Hello,
once if. Hello,
hello,
there you are.
hi. So I'm also like a content creator in a way, but that's neither here nor there. It's just that
Cool.
just to get my view that I'm very in the community as well.
That works.
So I think that the main problem that I have, there's two people here, so there's another person who wants to talk to you, who's more well
Okay.
versed but in this. But as for my side, my main question would be like, I think it's good that you work for Sega, not necessarily Nintendo, because their ninjas are real. Um, but I think my main thing was not necessarily. I don't think the circumcision joke was necessarily bad taste for a joke normally anywhere else. But I think it's not even just the circumstance at hand, talking about Israel or Palestine or anything like that. I just think that the minors are usually a lot of Sonic fans, minors, children, and to be making that joke not just so they can see it, but it could even be at one of them. And I think that's something that Sega wouldn't necessarily look at lightly if they think any way of Nintendo. I don't necessarily think it's the original post that would be their problem, like you say, but I think that one kind of lined up that way when there are minors and children heavily involved, especially if that could be pointed towards them. If one of those children or minors or the person who made the original comment, and then the response be to that to talk about genitalia, I don't think is something Sega would necessarily react well to. I just kind of
Okay.
wonder what your response would be
Valid
to that.
point, but I would counter that there is no obvious way to tell a person's age without
Yeah,
digging a little more
exactly.
deeply into
That's
people's
why I would
profiles.
just,
So,
yeah.
and I will also point out that you're not supposed to be on Twitter until you're 13, at which point you should know what words are. But valid
Yeah,
point.
still a minor.
I'll I'll counter it. Yes, still a minor, but even so, kids, for example, who sorry minors if you're listening, but if you're circumcised, you probably are already aware of what
Yeah.
that is. But
And
that
I
only
feel like
applies
it's
to a
okay
certain
to,
fragment of the
yeah.
population.
It's just like, I just think like Sega themselves would be like the ones to not want to look at it. But that's just kind of my thing. I just want to get out there because I was just kind of, you know, just
Yeah,
make that
and
kind of light. But this
if
is the
they
other
ask,
person, yeah.
if they ask, I will justify it with the way I've justified it here. But sure, if it's two against one,
Yeah,
let's hear number two. Number two in
gotcha.
our
And then
playbook, but number
the
one in our hearts.
other person.
Please.
Hi, his wife.
Hi.
So I think what he's trying to articulate here more so is that you have a very young fan base, and that's something that you're aware of. So I think he feels, and a lot of people feel, that it's probably just not an appropriate comment to make knowing that you have a young fan base. But all of that aside, I do see what you mean about stating that the initial comment isn't something that should be controversial, and overall, it
Mhm.
shouldn't. But considering that people have followed it up with asking about you to make statements on, let's say, the Palestinian hostages, which there are, as you know, or as many people know, many of, you replied to it by stating as if it's not something you really had to do because you're not a political activist, and that it's okay for you to make statements about the Jewish hostages because that's a humanitarian aspect. See, I don't see the difference between the Palestinian hostages and the Jewish hostages as humanitarian versus political, because political, this would be something more like legislation on taxes. Now, there's a lot of genocide going on and a lot of death occurring on the side of the Palestinians, and has been for a long time, even prior to October 7th, to be quite frank with you. It's just exploded and become much worse in recent times. So I think the issue here is that whenever you try to divert a little bit by stating that it's political, but in reality, that's a humanitarian crisis. These are lives that are being lost. This isn't a matter of opinion of colors. This is a matter of human life. This is humanitarian issues on both sides, not just the Jewish side. So I think that's where people are a little concerned by some of these comments. And I think another issue is just, for instance, when you said people would say free Palestine, you looked at it as anti Semitism. And that's really, there's nothing anti Semitic in that. There are Jewish professors standing with these pro Palestine protesters and students that feel that this is being misconstrued, and they are also standing with their students, and you could see that reported as recently as today. So I just don't really see why it was an issue from the beginning not to just acknowledge that there were also Palestinian hostages, which I see you somewhat doing a little bit in this recent conversation. But I feel like and then you've made a lot of really distasteful jokes, like hostage jokes, to some of the people who have even spoke to you in this um, live chat. And just considering people are dying on both sides, and especially on the side of the Palestinians, I just feel that there's a lot of people that have distaste right now for what you've been saying. And I think it's pretty rationalized. And when people are asking you what you think Sega is going to feel about this, or the employers, or whoever it is that's in charge of this, you say, well, they'll look back to my initial comment. Well, aren't you concerned about what they're going to see as the follow ups about some of the statements you've made afterwards? Not necessarily just the initial comment?
They know me better than you do, with all due respect. They have dealt with me in person. They know that I'm generally snarky. They know that there is no evil intention behind it. They know that it's all in good humor. They know me. I have that going for me. That may not be a defense. That may not be any kind of insurance, but that's a fact. I work with these people. When I work with them, I work with them directly. I see them in person. You don't know me. You know the public persona that you see on Twitter. That is not
Oh, and I
representative.
agree with that, and I think that's great for you, but they also have a business to run, and this is highly controversial. And you do sort of represent them in some way by your statements. Aren't you concerned that they might
My as my
be a liability?
as my bio states, my opinions are my own. They do not represent those of any of the employers, and I'm a freelancer and I work with a lot of clients. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any of my clients. There's not enough room in a bio to say that, but that's what my opinions are my own means. Lots of people have that same statement. So no.
And you can say that, but when it comes down to it, you do somewhat represent them. There's a lot of companies that have some sort of backlash when their employees say things that might be controversial or inappropriate or offensive to an entire community that is facing genocide, to be honest with you. So I'm glad you feel comfortable with that, but I do see this as a problem, and I would personally be careful how you're stating things. I think he took us off. Oh, no. It says he's speaking, but I can't hear him anymore. Well, for some reason, I can't hear you anymore. It seems like it shows that you're talking, so I guess we're going to go ahead and leave it at that. Yeah, it might be a technical difficulty. For some reason, we can't hear him. I'm guessing it's what happened to a couple of the listeners.
Dude, that's I was not, listening in on this until like the very last person and his wife came in. Um they decided to speak absolute facts. Mike realized that he's not getting out of this and then he just chickened out. Wow. Um yeah, so that happened. Um take this information as you will, but given how Mike seemed to not be able to alleviate the situation, I don't think we can really like trust him anymore or like have him in, the Sonic games. So yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Feel free to, talk about whatever you want to about this in the comments, but um I'm just gonna end the video here. So thank you for watching, and props to those who actually watched this, listen to this whole this whole thing.